Oh, hi. It's David, and I'm bored. And I was looking at some of the art I have amassed over a period of years. This one's kind of random. It's Corner Gas. I don't know if you remember that TV show. Brad Butt, he created this one. I purchased that on some auction for charity. This one, Birthing Birch, a local artist, Amy Ferrari, one of my favorite artists, who is also local. Beautiful work, James Nye. This one's called Evening Arcade, created in 2017. James has been part of our Brush Off, which is an annual event, and we will be actually hosting it next Wednesday. And I just wanted to bring a couple of people onto David's board and talk about the anniversary of 9 years, I believe, and where Brush Off came from and what's happening next week. So here we go. I'm going to bring in two people who have been instrumental to the Brush Off.
Oh my God.
Again.
That's crazy.
I need the Wilson volleyball. I need to go pass away, right? So really happy today to have Megan Hawkins in her Warhol pink and blue glow, and Robin Hopkins, who has replaced Megan at the museum as Megan's moved on, but worked with Megan for many, many years. How long did you guys work together, Robin?
3 years.
3 wonderful years?
The best.
All three?
All three.
Yeah. And Megan, how long were you at the museum?
9 wonderful years.
9.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a magic number today, because we wanted to talk about the Brush Off and when it began, where it began, the early days. Robin, you joined it around year 4. Megan, was it my idea or was it your idea?
It was. If it ended up being a success, then yes, it was your idea. So yes, it was your idea.
Yes. And how many people are? Can you take us through the first year, the first couple of years? Like, what were some of the trials and the tribulations and the wins and the things that made you not sleep?
It was amazing because there was great community support in terms of an art store donating the canvas and the paint. Getting the artists was not hard. We had collaborated with a couple artists to create the first year. So it was great to have their input. The museum was just starting to get into more Museum After Dark events and adding more of those to the calendar. And so every time we tried something new, we weren't really sure what the public was going to do. And for something like this, we needed lots of people to bring the energy up for the evening and to vote for their favorite paintings, and then ultimately buy the paintings as part of a donation. And so right before we did the event, there were something like 100 tickets sold, which would have been kind of sad at an event like the Brush Off, which is so amazing. And then the day of, it just went crazy, and we had over 300 people. So we were a little unprepared, but we totally pulled it off, and it was so great. And on the street, the event got a lot of credit. And every year since, it's been over 500 people that have attended. So. And
it's truly amazing. And Robin, when people they come in, they receive some ballots to bid on each round. You just take us through the operation a little bit, how it works, or how it will work next Wednesday.
Yeah, well, next Wednesday is going to be a bit of a different beast. In person, we normally give a ballot where each round you can pull off your vote and vote for your favorite artist. On Wednesday, for the virtual Brush Off, we'll have a poll available on the Facebook Live link where you can vote for your favorite artist. So it'll be a little different this year because you're actually going to see the votes coming in live. So I think it might spur some extra competition this year.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then immediately after, they'll go into an auction online.
Yeah. And Megan, the auction, that was successful from day one, right? After each round, the art would go on the cafeteria wall, and we would split the proceeds with the artists.
Yes.
And I recall some of the prices were quite high, well into the hundreds, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure. There were some amazing artists who were professional artists and sold their work. People like James Nye and others, and so it was amazing to get an original piece from one of those artists for less than what their showroom pieces.
Can you guys name the 9 winners? Can you get close to naming all 9? There was a couple of double winners, I believe. James Nye, did he win?
Ralph Wall, Nick
Megan
Herron, Megan Metchler, Momita Roy Chowdhury, Ethel Vornikova.
Anybody win twice?
Meredith Blackmore.
That's 7. Any double winners?
Nick Herron's won twice.
That's 8. Well, there you go. Well done. You're down to 1.
We were close.
Pretty close.
And we had some interesting MCs along the way as well, right? Did any of the MCs actually be artists as well and win? Am I making that up?
I think that we had at least one of the brush off artists who won come back and MC one of the junior brush offs. Yes.
So going into our 10th year next year, our 9.5 year mark will be on Wednesday. We'll come back to that in a moment. But the junior brush off, that was a logical extension. And I just want to back up a second. You've got 300, 400, 500 people in the museum. They're having a cocktail. They're moving around the building. There's a DJ. There's music. The artists are given a theme and an amount of time to paint something. Then you take your ballot, drop it in the bucket of the person you want, and we play it down from roughly 23 artists on a give or take 23 down to a winner each year, right? What happened with the junior brush off? Robin, were you there for the first one?
I think I was there for the second one. It's really a similar format, but you're giving an opportunity for really young folks to come out. A lot of participants from Eastwood Collegiate, and they get to compete and kind of see what that atmosphere is like. Yeah. It's a high pressure painting experience for sure that would make them pretty well equipped going out into the real world.
It was always so funny to give them the preamble because they were always so much more nervous than the professional artists were. Yeah. But they were adorable, and it was so nice to see all their friends come out and so many teachers come out. And that reminds me, the other winner is Todd Babensee.
You got them all.
Yeah, he was a teacher at one of the schools, and we actually went to a meeting at the school board with all the department heads for art and gave them a presentation for a couple of years on what the junior brush off was all about, because we really needed their buy-in to get the students to to not feel so much pressure to get involved. And I know they did practice runs at the schools, and so it was fun.
Yeah,
I remember one year at the junior brush off, there was a high school student who each round had one of his friends model, and he was painting them live as they were sitting in front of him.
That's great. I do recall in the early years that, and I'm talking not of the junior brush off, but of the main brush off, that there was some interesting art that wasn't purchased. And so I would always run around and make sure that every piece of art was bid on. And they're randomly displayed throughout our offices at the museum. There's one that I recall that is a frame with a die, like rolling a dice, a die is stuck in the wall.
3D.
It's 3D. I remember that one specifically. I think there was a few others as well. Any favorites? Any favorite night? Any favorite moment? Any favorite work of art?
I mean, my favorite brush off moment was my first ever brush off. I had only worked at the museum for, I think, 2 months at the time, and it was my first major museum event. And I think it was after round 2, I remember like just finishing the hustle of like gathering all the paintings, putting them on the wall, counting all the bids, and this like crazy moment. And then I remember Megan and I sitting behind the shadow play for a second, and me just looking at her going, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, I'm obsessed with the museum. I'm never leaving.
And you came back.
I did.
And Megan, do you have a fond memory, a special time?
Yeah, I always loved after each round, all the artists that were so nervous, hearing how much fun they had. And like so thankful for the museum putting it on, and like so we were also so thankful because there wouldn't be an event without the artists donating their time, and then also giving the prize at the end. That's like one of my favorite things to do in that event.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. It's a great community builder. It was a fundraiser for the artists and the museum. The art was sold and split with the with the artists. It's a great model, and going into our 10th year will be great. We'll have to plan for that with 500 people. Next winter, Junior Brush Off. The Junior Brush Off will be its 5th anniversary, I guess, its next iteration. And then, Robin, just to close, tell us a little bit about Wednesday night, the All-Star Night coming up Wednesday. Is it May 27th?
Yep, May 27th. So we've arranged with 4 former Brush Off winners to come together on Zoom. And we have our amazing DJ, Dave Partridge, who will give you the vibe of the Brush Off so you can enjoy it from home, as well as our awesome MC, Mikey Klein. And from home, you can watch all of the artists. We're just doing one round. And at the end, you can bid on all of their paintings on Auction 32.
That's so great. That's so great you guys are doing that. So
and
fun.
It was all my idea.
Oh, yeah.
So, Robin, Megan, great to see you. Thank you very, very much. And we'll see you at a Brush Off soon.